Hello, this is J.N.S, and we're continuing with the series on the chakras and the energy points of the body. And this video, we're going to focus on the hands. Okay. And so let me share the photo that I want to share with you of the chakra energy points in the hands, and we will get started. Just like we just covered the one with the feet. Now we move on to the hands. Okay, and remember, if you don't have the working knowledge of the seven major chakras, that is something that you can look up online. We are not necessarily covering that. I have covered that on this channel previously, as well as in books. But we're focusing on the quote unquote minor chakras of the hands and feet, as well as we're going to do one on the crown area of the head, the top of the head, as well as the other eyes beyond the third eye. Okay, and so this is what we're covering with for this series. And so we see with the hands, obviously, hands are very, very important, very, very important in connecting with the electromagnetic field around us, with receiving energetic information from the universe. uh, I remember growing up, we used to talk about the healing hands, and hands was known to, like, to heal people. You don't let everybody touch you with their hands, and people talk with their hands. So hands are very, very important conduits of psychotronic energy, from it getting expression out from the brain, as well as transmitting energy through the body, out of the body. You could do a lot of things with the hands. And so it only makes sense that you would have correspondence of the seven major chakras with um, the hands as well, just like you would in the feet. We talked about feet. And so we're just going to break it down just a little bit, a little more minute in terms of the correspondence of what each chakra means for each component of the hand. And so you see the thumb. We see the thumb right here. And remember, thumb corresponds with Manipura. And I do want to say that there are other sources in which um, this energy center or breakdown looks different, and I acknowledge that. Um, I guess that depends on what school of thought you're coming from, because some people they mix this stuff all up in terms of what each correspondence relates to. If you want to know, like, okay, well, where are you drawing your sources from? Here's one of them: Serpent Rising, the Kundalini Compendium, the world's most comprehensive body of work on human energy potential. This book is about 600 pages long. It covers a 17-year Kundalini transformation journey. And so this man, I do believe he is. I know he's into the Hermetic sciences. I want to say he did Hermetic, the Golden Dawn. I know he's in. I know he was a priest of that. I mean, he was a couple of things. I think he may be a 33-degree Mason. I can't remember offhand. Let me see if I can find the information. But this guy, he's pretty well versed in a lot of esoteric knowledge, and so that's, if you want to know, like, some of the school of thought of where I'm pulling it from. There's many school of thoughts. I know there's Eastern science. Obviously, the chakra energy centers come from the East in Egypt, but the names that we are using correspond with the East. Obviously, Hindu science. And so let's continue. Just wanted to give people that information for those who wanted to see that. Okay, so let's continue here. And so remember, the Manipura is the solar plexus chakra, which corresponds to the stomach area, intestine area, and that relates to your strength, your personality, your power, and your determination. Okay. And so the next one that we have is the index finger. That's the heart chakra, the Anahata. And then remember, the heart chakra refers to your acceptance, your love, your compassion, and your sincerity. Okay, and then the next one we have the middle finger. That's for Shuddhi. And remember that corresponds to your throat chakra. That's your communication, your expressing, your creativity, and your inspiration. Then you have your ring finger. That corresponds with Muladhara. That's the root chakra. That corresponds with your stability, your energy, your comfort, your safety levels that you feel. And then you have the little finger, pinky finger. That is your Swadhisthana. That's your sacral chakra that refers to your private parts, remember. That's your sensuality, your sexuality, your pleasure, and your sociability. And then you have the actual palm, the center of the palm, that relates to your crown chakra. That's your intuition, your knowledge, your consciousness, higher consciousness, your sense of fulfillment, your sense of empowerment. Okay. And then you have this part, the ajna. I wish I could highlight this part, but you guys, the part that's right under the crown, under the center of the palm, you have your ajna, and that is your third eye chakra that relates to your intuition as well, your lucidity, meditation, and trust, sense of self. And so that makes up the energy centers of the hands. There are many more. It is much more intricate. Like, say, for instance, the part of the wrist that is also related to the Muladhara chakra, which refers to your sense of, once again, your stability. And this is just one source that we're looking at. And the palm chakra is really important for healing purposes. The middle of the palm, the crown chakra. That's where that's where that relates to your crown chakra. That's where the electromagnetic energy comes from the universe, through that chakra and through the hands. That's where a lot of your healing comes from. If you have healing hands, for those that have, everybody has the capability to heal. That is very, very true. But we have to say, me growing up, I knew people that naturally had a gift for healing. They didn't have to do anything, no practicing, no nothing, no going, no studying, no nothing. They literally just was healers. This is very common, like, say, in the quote unquote black church, or me growing up, I grew up Baptist and Pentecostal, and I remember, like, we had people that was healing. They were some was teenagers, some was kids. They would be able to heal the other people in the church, and that could be like making. We had people in the church that was blind. We had people in the church that had diabetes. We had people in the church that had kidney issues and stuff like that. And they would get like the healers with their healing hands. Usually these were women, teenage women, younger women, and they would tell them, like, oh, use your healing hands to, let's pray over them and use your healing hands. Or if it was a couple people that had healing hands, they would all put their hands on the sick person, and heal them that way. And that was really cool. And then another thing I remember witnessing at church growing up, is that they used to just have the kids do the healing, because the kids have very powerful healing hands, and they believe that they can heal. Like, if you tell a kid, oh, you can heal me, or you could get rid of my pain, a kid will actually believe that shit. And 100% of the time, they will be able to heal your ass. That's why they say, it's this verse. I'm gonna get it for you. Because this is what this verse actually really means. This become like a child verse. Matthew 18:3-5, and it says, truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Therefore, whoever takes the lowly position of the child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. So the kingdom of God is within. This is a code. This is a very powerful light code. Yeah, the kingdom of heaven within, relating to the awakening of the pineal gland, the Kundalini energy awakening experience that relates both to male and female. It is much easier for females to do this, by the way, because I know the CIA is telling people that it's only for women. That's not true. Um, and so it relates to male and female. It's just much easier for women. Women don't have to do much work to because they are the creators of the Kundalini experience. And so what this meant is when we talk about like greater work shall you do in terms of the awakening of the spiritual gifts of the Holy Spirit of God. Truly, I tell you, unless you change, let's actually let me share this for you so you can see it yourself. Unless you change and become like little children, you've never entered the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven is within. This is a state of consciousness. So it's a dimension of consciousness. And so that means children, they have unlimited potential in terms of their creativity. If you measure a child's creativity, like say you you give them a Torrance test, right? You give children a Torrance test and you give adults a Torrance test. The children, in terms of equivalency of IQ, they would be at the genius level, like Albert Einstein level. Beyond that, it would be beyond that compared to the adult, because the child is untainted by the qualms of the world, by the self-limiting aspects of the self. Children don't have that. They don't conceive of that into the programming of the adults, into the programming of the institutions, get them to self-doubt, get them to not believe in themselves, get them to externalize their power, get them to believe in dogmatism. Children don't have any of that. This is an ancient Agori teaching too. That's why I tell you, Yeshua was learning in the East. He learned this teaching from the Agori practices. That's why I told you the Dragon Riders have extensive knowledge in this. This is where he came from. When he to give you this is very deep and powerful, because this was revealed to me from the spiritual realm. Like, this is the practice from the Agori about children don't discriminate against gross forms. The children doesn't discriminate, and they took that teaching and completely bastardized it, completely just did some horrific things with it down here on planet Earth. But that was to get, say, for those of us that are in a denser form of existence in a physical body in 3D, 4D, 5D, that was pretty much just to teach humans, like, you got to really, really be unlimited in your expanded view of yourself and of your capabilities and potential and power. That's literally all it meant. And through that, you are able to enter the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of God within. The opening of the Kundalini, the opening of the pineal gland, the experiences of your own divinity, the awakening of your own divinity through through this curiosity, through the empty. It's not so much that you're being teachable or agreeable, but the gratitude and the curiosity and the creativity of a child, of them being open to knowledge, being open to learn, being open to the expansive knowledge of the universe, and being connected to the etheric side still. Children are very close to the etheric uh, aspect of themselves, to their higher self. They're still connected to that, very much so. And so that's also what that meant. Connect with your astral self, your astral cord. You know how the baby, they cut the umbilical cord off the baby. In spiritual sense, that cord is still there. But the baby, since they just got theirs cut off, like 5, 6, 10 year, 7 year, those under 12, they still are connected more so with their etheric body. And so when Yeshua is telling you, truly, I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you have to connect with your etheric cord, umbilical cord still, so that you can receive information from the astral body. This is an ancient Buddhist teaching as well. So again, that's why I said he was in the East studying these things. It should be very obvious. During his years missing, the years that he was going missing, studying these things, a practice from the Buddhists that teach this as well, how to connect from your etheric cord, transmute information. And I'm not going to teach that here on the YouTube. Actually, I'm going to stop talking about it, because that is a teaching that it's still covert in a sense. It's out and it's public, but I'll just say you need to connect with the higher self and the higher octave of yourself, as if you were a child, just out of the womb. That's just fresh from the ether, expanded in creativity, expanded and limitless. And that will allow you to do the healing things and the waking up people from the dead. And because your mind is your crown chakra is so open still. Babies, that's why the center of the head is so soft of a child, the crown chakra, and so open. And even though they can't talk and express themselves, these are very, very etheric creatures. Children are very special. And um, down here they treat children like crap on planet Earth. But children are very, very special. If a lot of guests you see in the Matrix movie, remember in the Matrix movie when they showed them kids, when they had the Oracle, the black woman Oracle, and they had all the little children out there playing, and they showing all the little gifts of telekinesis and levitation and all that stuff with the electromagnetic levitation of the objects around. That shit is real. That's why they showed the kids with the gifts. Same thing with X-Men when they had the school for the kids. They're trying to put these stuff out there. People think it's fake, but it's real. For those that's in the know, it's totally real. They just think it's a movie or something. But yes, you become like kids, and you're able to do the healing of the hands. Okay, and that's why in the church, in the black church, they had the kids. Well, at least in Buffalo, New York, they would have the kids come and do the healing of the old ass adults, because the adults they feel like they can't heal themselves, and on a subconscious level, even though like the black church is not familiar with chakras of the hands and the different aspects of the of the energy points of electromagnetic, they don't know necessarily those terms, right? But they know intuitively that children etheric are more etheric and have more belief in faith. And if you tell if you like, we used to tell the black kids in church, you have healing hands, you can heal. Them kids really think they can heal, and because of their power, because of their psychotronic power from the crown chakra, boom, they ass is motherfucking healing. And I've seen this in action. I've seen this. I had family members, and when I was young, some kids, I'm sorry, they just have, some people are just born with gifts more than others, right? There was a kid in my family, right? Healing hands. And I'm telling you, no matter what, any type of little pain you get, any type of pain, any type of sickness, any type of pain, like this kid could put, and he used to be so dramatic, like, you know how a black boy be so dramatic, and I used to, if I used to get a pain in my leg, I used to say, come heal auntie's leg, come heal. And he would just be doing all these, how you come, you see a movie and they doing all this dramatic stuff with their hands. That's how he would be coming at me. He would be doing all this dramatic stuff with their hands, and you see the superheroes in the movie doing like the hawk movement and all that stuff. This with this little kid, this little black kid would be doing that, and he would do all this dramatic shit and put his hands on my legs, like boom, and it'd be doing like you should have seen the look. I wish I could have recorded it. Like it would just be so dramatic, and he would be putting his vibrating his hand like, oh, doing all these crazy faces. Oh. But I'm telling you, that motherfucking pain was gone. I ain't even gonna hold you. I was like, and I used to be cracking up, and obviously you have to believe, and this is why when Yeshua used to do healing, you have to believe. He was telling them, you have to heal. Do you believe that I can heal you? And because they were in such a desperate state of mind to be healed, when he already had this ancient science of the East and of the West and of Africa, he already had all these ancient. He had this shit down pat as far as the intergalactic mentalism, the stuff that he was trying to teach other people that actually got his ass killed. That's why they killed him. And so this is stuff that only secret society is supposed to know. But he was just like, hey, what do you mean? He's from our dimension. So he goes and he asks, do you believe I kill you? If two people, that's why I said when two or more people are gathered, there I am there. We're talking about the God molecule. That's the God particle. That's the real God particle. You don't need a CERN machine. The real God particle is two or more people in believing in their intergalactic mentalism. That's when two or more people, there I am, the Holy Spirit. And this is esoteric code here, but this is referring to that God particle consciousness that is going to be able to be ushered in between two people, two or three are gathered. There I am in my name, they're believing. And so you have even with the child, the children automatically they're closer to understanding of the etheric side, so they believe that they can heal. And then you have the adult that believe that the child can heal. Then your motherfucking ass is gonna get healed. and the child, they have electromagnetic forces from the hands, from the crown chakra, from the crown of the palm. I put the hands on the legs, or whatever, cramp, or whatever, headache, and your ass will be healed. And it happened every time. That little kid used to be acting so dramatic. So, putting your hands, you put the hands on the head, gotta shake your head, and she just speaking in tongues. And your headache will be gone. Your headache, I don't know what you did, but it worked. It used to be so hilarious. It used to be cracking up, like really, like. But that just was his little thing. That was just his little thing, and I've had friends that had healing hands, as we call it, and so it is a real thing. It is totally. It is not hogwash. Can be found in even in Sufism with the healing. It's in every mystic school of thought, and so it's clearly encoded even in the Bible. I just gave you the example of if you look at some of the way he was doing the healing, and then when the verses you put them together when you talk about become like a child, and you cross references with the teachings of the Agori and the Buddhist teachings, the teachings of the East. Agori is a Hindu teaching, and people say like, no, this is supposed to be separate or whatever, and we trying to study, the angels. We were literally trying to tell like this information is cross sectional because of a very specific interdimensional beings that came down here that were all related from the same family that came down here, whether they were on one side of the coin or the other, whether they were the fallen angel or whether they were the one that was trying to come down to correct the shit that was going on down here. They still share a bloodline through that realm, and they were trying to get that information out to humans. And unfortunately, some of the information was hidden, or some of the information was completely bastardized. Now, when they talk about you become like a child has no discrimination between gross forms, between feces, between feces or a diamond and whatever. That was not meant to be like, oh, that means we could do whatever we want. That was interpreted by like those like Satanists or whatever, that where they took those teachings and it was like, okay, that means we can do whatever we want. And that was not what that meant. That was actually transcendence. That's what transcendence looks like. That's what enlightenment looks like. Someone that is enlightened doesn't see they're going to look at the gold, a block of gold. They're going to look at a diamond. They're going to look at a blade of grass. They're going to look at feces. And it's all going to look, as far as the perception and non-perception element of equanimity, it's going to be the same to them. They're not going to they don't have that knowledge of discrimination because they're in bliss consciousness. They're in bliss consciousness that is like connected to the crown chakra, which is what a baby is. And that's why they treat babies like crap on this planet. They treat children like crap on this planet because they derive energy from reverse engineering all of sacred teachings down here. And for those who catch the code, that is what Ryan Garcia is trying to wake y'all up to. But, they're trying to say he's crazy and do drugs. But no, he does not crazy or do drugs. I know exactly what that man is talking about. And yes, it is a problem with what they're doing with children on this planet. And so at the higher levels. But this is what this stuff meant. Okay, and so let's continue just a little bit further. And so again, that palm chakra, that's most important. That reflects to the top of the head, okay? And that's your spirit element, the middle of the palm. And that's crucial for the Kundalini transformation because that's how you infuse the spirit energy into the body. So that's why that area of the hand is so important. That's why people put their palms on on people's heads and whatnot, and to transmute the spirit from their crown chakra into, it used to knock people out with the Holy Spirit, right? Remember back in the Pentecostal church, they believe where people pass out when the pastor put the hands on someone's head and they pass. Oh my gosh! Oh. Sometimes people was playing around. Sometimes people was wanting attention. Sometimes people really will, but a lot of that shit was real. Some of that is real. I know for a fact that can happen. I have seen it. It has happened to me. I have done it to other people. I know that you can put your motherfucking hand on someone's head, and from the palm of that hand, that's connected to the God particle, the crown chakra, you put that hand on that person's forehead and you prophesizing over them. You could prophesize over someone's life. You can have God speak through it and put your hand on their head, and that hand, that power would be so powerful that motherfucker would pass out. They'll pass right on out on the ground. Okay, and it's a real thing, or they'll start shaking and convulsing. I have seen that happen. You put your hand on someone, they start shaking and convulsing and all that stuff. That's real. It's energy transformation. And so now for those that's still maybe in the church, whatever, now you kind of know a working knowledge of where that comes from in terms of the energy points, that this connects to your electromagnetic field. That energy enters through the top of the head, the crown chakra, and it discharges out through the feet, or it can be transmuted back into the feet, back up out of the head, connects you to heaven and earth at the same time. That is why you have chakras in the head. That is why you have chakras in the feet. That's why you have chakras in the hand. And that is how you control the electromagnetic grid around you. Because we're all photon beings. And so for those that's like, that wonder where that stuff comes from, like, and I'll give you another one. Like a lot of times, when you see these pastors, they was putting their hands on people's heads, and like a bitty hen and all that stuff. I'm not coming at people. A lot of times they know this knowledge. They're not telling you that they know it, but they have to know. You have to know these things. This is a big secret. Amongst that they keep to themselves. That the pastors are esotericists, that they are occultists, that they are even if they don't call themselves occultists, that they are they have working bodies of knowledge that are extensive in the esoteric mystical sciences. You would have to. It's just common sense. Anybody that's really, 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 really studying that book, really, 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 really studying the teachings of Yeshua, you would realize, okay, you need that. Where is this science coming from? Where is this knowledge coming from? And so, like when we see like a lot of the pastors, they would everybody will fall all out. They lift their hands up and everybody falls all out and stuff. They're using they're using this science. It's as simple as that. This is the breakdown of it. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to acknowledge it. You don't have to care. It's just, I'm just putting it out there. I knew this when I was 18 years old because I started seeing, because at that time I was going to go to seminary to become a pastor and whatnot, but I didn't go to seminary. Because I just started to expand my consciousness, and I started to just, I was self-taught. I'm self-taught. So I'm an autodidact in a lot of things. I'm not initiated into anything. I teach myself and listen to others and gain knowledge that way from the intuitive realm, as well as listening to people that I respect and that I deem wise, and reading. Simple as that. But when I was 18, I used to see, certain things. I used to look at Kenneth Copeland and all that stuff, and I used to see different spirits on them. I used to be like, oh, they ain't, there's something else going on there. And then you find out that they are Masons, or you find out that they have different energies within their background. Some of them come from Hindu backgrounds and all this stuff. And so I'm not pushing anything on anybody. I'm just shedding the light. I'm just saying that a lot of those pastors, they have working knowledges of the stuff that I'm already talking about. It's nothing new. It's nothing new at all. And so when we talk about the spirit element of the hand chakras, we have the throat chakra is obviously a part of the spirit element. And you have the two chakras above the throat chakra, which is your eye chakra and your Sahasrara. Okay. And remember, that refers to your crown chakra, Sahasrara. And that energy is a healing energy is also generated in the Ananata aspect, and it goes through the palm. And so it goes through the index finger. That's why pointing is so important. Like people be pointing. It's like people point at you, they point, people don't like people to point at them for those reasons. Because you can also reverse engineer this and send out crazy ass energy to people too, through pointing and through the hands, right? You can send out, you can transmit people's power and try to, do things through the hands. That's why people don't like people touching them. So people won't let you touch them. It's not a bad thing. But the heart chakra, the index finger, healing energy comes from there and then goes through the palm as well. Okay. And so the throat chakra also becomes very important too, because throat chakra is your heka. And so that's your middle finger. That's why people, they put up their middle finger. It means F you and all that stuff. But middle finger doesn't have to mean F you. Right? It doesn't have to mean that. But that's what people do. I want to cover because there's the earth dignitaries, elemental dignitaries that also refer to the fingers. And I think that that's important to talk about. And so I want to give out that information as well. I want to show the hands. Okay, I'm just trying to pull up a resource here. But yeah, but people be pointing, and you can see your psychotronics is the mind science, right? That's intergalactic mentalism. You can do psychotronics through your hands. That's why people talk with their hands. That's the heka. And so you heal with the hands through the throat chakra and through the heart chakra and the crown chakra. But you can also do the opposite, and you use psychotronics normally to do that. That's psychotronics is the using the energetic the electromagnetic field around you through your heka and your mind to influence things. And eyes and hands are the most important way to do psychotronics. So hands become very, very, very important. I'm looking for that document. I had made like a document on it. What did I do with it? Links to content. Still looking for it, guys. Third pinnacle, octaves, not there. Primordial Nakhti, right? Maybe I put it in the Kali J.N.S. because I started. I'm coming up with different mudras that's being channeled to me, and so I had to understand like the different components of the hands to create mudras myself. And so I need to find. If I can't find that document, maybe it's here. Where is that? Okay, I believe I believe this is. I think I found it, and I need to do a better job of organizing my material better. Okay, here we go. This is what I want to share you. So we have the thumb. You see the thumb that corresponds to fire. Okay, and so that offers the warmth of the breath. Then you have your index finger that it refers to the air element. So now we have heart and air and the spirit element. Air is also a component of the spirit element. Um, and then you have the middle finger, which is ether. It's the throat chakra. That's Heka. Remember, we talked about resonance being a fourth governing law of the universe. Heka is space and ether. That's the middle finger. Then you have the ring finger, which is earth. And then you have the pinky, which is water. Okay. And so when you're coming up with sciences, and this is how you're corresponding with the energy point of the chakras. You can add new ones. You can create. I said you can earlier. You can create new chakras. You can um, correspond it with the earth elements to when you're coming up with new mudras. And I'll show you. This is a new mudra that I created, but I have a couple more. It's a couple of them, but I'll show you on camera how to do these mudras and how they look like when I get the chance. Yeah, but the hands are very important. You can do you can do a lot of stuff with pointing and with hand movements. That's why when they show, even believe it or not, the choir directing, when you're directing a choir and they show doing all these hand movements through voice and resonance and music. That's very spiritual. It's not just it's very, very spiritual. I mean, even when you think of like the orchestra, when you have the director doing the things with their hands, it has a resonance. It carries a very powerful um, electromagnetic frequency. Hand correspondence. I'm making sure I will get my notes better. Hand correspondence. Okay. And earth elements. Okay, there we go. Okay, so yeah, that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. I'm gonna come back. We're gonna do the ones with the top of the head. We're gonna focus on the mudras that are on. I'm sorry, not the mudras. We're gonna focus on the chakras that are on the top of the head, and then we'll do eyes as well. We'll do head and eyes because there's more than one third eye. There's more than there's a third eye. So we'll cover that. I'll give you my links to reach me if you would like a spiritual reading, and links to my books as well. And so I would hope to hear from you in some capacity and whatnot. You can reach me. And I would like to build a community of like-minded people that are focused on ascension and that are focused on their own divinity, that are focused on their God consciousness, and focused on ascending, and focused on enlightenment and intellectualism and their own empowerment. That is the type of community that I would like to build. And so here's that information. If you guys want to find me, we'll be back. So I hope you guys come back for the video on the chakras of the top of the head, and as well as the third eye, learning about the other components of the spiritual eyes besides the third eye, rather. Okay. Just put my last link. I have books. Please support my work in the form of books. You can purchase my books on Kindle or the print itself. And so I appreciate that as well. You could go to Nakhti University and sign up for the newsletter. We'll be doing some interesting things on there with the Nakhti philosophy. And so I'm going to talk to you guys later. We'll be back. God bless.